Here's a crazy fact, only 7% of you guys watching are subscribed, so hit that sub button, it's free, and if you don't like me, you can always unsub in the future. Right, so by now I'm sure everyone is aware of who Rook is in Rainbow Six Siege. Famously in-game, his armor plates grant anyone who wears it more health, and they also now have the withstand ability, which is massive. So body armor has been a massive part of Rook's story, of what Rook represents. You know, everyone associates Rook with body armor. But what have I told you? In the lore, Rook was actually shot not in the body, but in the head. Now, you may be happy to hear Rook is still alive. Or that actually might be bad news depending on how you feel about that, operator. But yes, back in 2020, Rook was actually shot in the head but saved by his helmet. And here's how the story goes. So Rook, who was accompanied by Twitch, were both in the capital of France, Paris. Their day was going as normal until there was a sudden eruption of 2 fires in the downtown area. To help prevent chaos which was caused by the fire, the GIGN deployed several officers to the scene, 2 of which were Rook and Twitch. Now these officers went to the scene to help manage the situation, but Twitch and Rook, with their training in the program in Rainbow Six, suspected that these fires were deliberately made to draw attention from something else. And it turns out that their training and suspicions were correct, as it turns out at this time there was a major bank heist occurring at the other side of the city. Rook, alongside Twitch, rode a motorbike and actually tracked down the suspects. This resulted in a firefight between our operators and the robbers, where Rook was actually shot in the head, however, his helmet actually saved him. If it wasn't for that helmet, Rook probably wouldn't have been alive. This allowed the robbers to get away, however Rook and Twitch weren't finished yet, as they mounted back on their motorcycle and had a high-speed chase through Paris. Eventually, they caught up to the robbers and apprehended them, ending their reign of chaos. And that is the short little story as to the time that Rook survived a headshot from a bullet. But there is still more to learn about this story when we take a look at the Tour de Force battle pass from Operation Steel Wave when this occurred. Firstly, we have a little dialogue by Twitch referring to what she was wearing on that day, and she says the following: "Bank robbers rarely wear neon clothing, they'd rather go unnoticed. Me? I stick to the safety yellow on duty so Rook can tell the good guys from the bad." And she is of course talking about her bright neon motorcycle gear, which I do admit makes a lot of sense for her to wear bright fluorescent colours, so Rook does know that it's actually Twitch, especially when both of their faces are covered by helmets. Next up, we actually have one by Twitch talking about her helmet, and it says the following: "I've spent my life filling my head with data, learning all I can to make myself better. I need a good helmet to protect my investment." Obviously saying that she needs to protect her head because she's got a lot of stuff going up in her brain. She's a smart person. We have another little one where she's talking about her gun, and it says, "Firearms have their uses, but I'm more interested in keeping collateral damage to a minimum, especially here in the capital." Next up, we actually have one for Rook's MP5, and it says the following: "The gear we use, armor, weapons, vehicles, anything really, is a lifeline. As long as we take good care of it, it will take good care of us." And that's a true sentiment. If you look after your weaponry and you look after your gear, the less likely it is going to malfunction or break. Next up, we actually have a Rook's helmet, and it says, "I've had good days and I've had bad days. If it wasn't for my helmet, which stopped a bullet and kept the shrapnel off, my career might have been over." And that's where we actually did learn that he did survive a bullet, but I also just find it really cool that Rook was actually protected from a headshot by a helmet when we usually typically associate him with body armor rather than head armor. Next one's actually really cool. It's actually a little charm of the motorcycle which Rook was riding, and it says, "The motorcycle chase in Paris was a thrill like no other, but I'll take a relaxing bike ride on a brisk spring morning any day." Just think it's really cool to see what the motorcycle he was actually riding looks like, and hey, maybe one day as an Easter egg they could actually upscale this charm into an actual motorcycle and just place it somewhere on a map. That would be really cool. And the final one we have here is the uniform for Rook, and it says, "Cycling in the Alps taught me about freedom. The high-speed motorcycle pursuit in Paris taught me what must be done to protect that freedom." Yeah, this just adds a very interesting depth to Rook's lore. I actually do really like this headgear and uniform as well. This is the set I actually run for Rook. And unfortunately, there was no animation or anything to come along with this, only some images and the skins itself. But it is a really fun and interesting story. So be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this little Rook and Twitch story which took place in 2020? I think it's absolutely incredible, and I hope they do find some ways to put more little lore stories in, you know, not major stories, just little things like these, because these are really fun to make videos on and they're just really cool. So with that being said, I am ending this video here. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike if you're not, subscribe if you're new guys. I love you guys, have an incredible rest of your day, peace.